Yes, I can see you very well. Thank you once more for joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, I'm an activist, and I started World Igbo Congress way back in 1993. Knowing or thinking about what could happen to our people in that country. Anyway, most of you know the history and what we have gone through up till now. Today, we are having the pleasure and the responsibility to honor our dead during the Civil War. I personally suffered directly the consequence of that Civil War, losing my first cousin, two nephews, and my own father died in 1967 because he was evacuated from Enugu in the heat of the Enugu evacuation and became very ill, and the medical facility was not available for him. So from that point of view, I also know the impact of that war. I would have been able to participate myself if I was there, but at that time I was a student in the UK. That being said, we at that time also tried to fight the best we could as students, driving to the British Parliament almost on a weekly basis and confronting a hostile government. Particularly, one individual stands in my mind very clearly. His name was John Cordell, C-O-R-D-L-A. We later found out that he was an MP and also a major holder of shares in UAC. Anyway, we fought him, and he was very strident in his denunciation of us, and told us if we didn't like it, we could leave the United Kingdom. Anyway, the rest is history. Everybody knows the cause of the war, and even though people are in denial and don't want to accept that this was what happened, and they try to blame a section of the country for being responsible for this. Now, during the war, I don't know how many of you participated or even know anything about it. I can see a lot of you are young people, and your knowledge of the war might depend on what you have read and the perspective they are showing in their presentation. The issue here is we in Nigeria must know what is our problem. Now, I would beg to submit that a good many of us don't really understand what the major problem is. As I often say, you cannot solve a problem that you do not fully understand. Some people are saying, it's the 1999 Constitution, it is the structure of the country and what have you. But let me submit once more that the root cause of our problem is the fact that the Fulani wants to take over that country and make it their own. They had never intended to come and settle or integrate with the rest of us who are indigenous to that area. And I think this singular fact must be emphasized and made known to people, because when you are fighting somebody who has a different objective from what you have, you can see that there's a problem there. Regardless of what you do and what you say, you can see that they are moving ahead to achieve their objective. and they're almost 90% close to getting what they want. So what do we do if we accept that this is our problem? It means that you're going to have to fight back. In their own mind, Nigeria is already a conquered territory. And they, in their own religion and in their own way of life, have the right to the spoils of war. And that underlies the way they are behaving. They have a constitution which they have written, but they completely ignore it. They have filled every government position with their own people. And they don't care what you think or what anybody thinks, damn the consequence. So if you are not willing to fight back and fight hard, we will be history, because this is nothing new in human relationship. If you can go back to the history of mankind, you can see that the doctrine of might is right has been with us for a long time and continues to exist even as you and I are speaking. Whether we like it or not, this is a fact. Go and ask Jomo Kenyatta and Robert Mugabe and people like that. If they did not fight hard to gain their country, Kenya today might not be an African country. Now, examples exist all over the world. I'm not going to go about that. So what is our assignment? What must we do? We must make sure that that area that we call our ancestral land must belong to us forever. Not now, but for the future generations. And if we don't take it seriously and we think that this is a game where you can try and restructure so that you can retain your position and whatever you gain from it, you are being very short-sighted and you are being very selfish. You are not thinking about the generations that are coming behind you. So our people fought the war. We all know what happened. It wasn't because we were very weak or not resourceful enough, but we fought the war, we lost the war because superior powers overwhelmed us. Now, the wind of war is blowing again, and it's very close to us. I submit that we in the diaspora have a very, very unique and serious responsibility to see what we can do, because unfortunately, people at home have left this fight for too long, and they have been completely almost emasculated, that they cannot really do much. We have differences, we must accept that, but as they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Whatever is our differences, we must put it aside. We have the capacity, the spread, and the financial clout. I want to remind us that according to World Bank in 2019, the amount of money remitted from abroad to Nigeria was almost 26 billion naira, dollars, $26 billion. And I can bet you that at least 50% of that came from us. Now, this is not chicken feed, and this is just in 1 year. You can see what is holding us back is small mind
very much. That's the reason why. So, so sir, you are now unmuted. Can you go ahead?
Yes, okay. These things happen anyway. Well, what I was trying to say is, since this is about remembering our heroes who died during the war, I think it is our responsibility to pledge that they will never be forgotten. And towards the end of military regime in Nigeria, we in WIC had pledged and wanted to erect a memorial to those heroes close to Uli Airport. But that attempt was frustrated and negated by the then sitting governor of Anambra State, that anything to do with Biafra will be over his dead body. That effort did not succeed, but we were able to gather the names of a lot of people who perished during the war. I think we should have it as an assignment for ourselves that whenever possible, this action will be completed for future generations. All the people who died, both as victims and even those who participated in the war itself as soldiers, must be remembered for posterity. The Igbo community and the Biafra community must come together. We have the ability to be a nation that can be prosperous and be able to compete with the rest of humanity. It is up to us. If we think we cannot do it, then we will not be able to do it. But if we believe in ourselves, which is what our forefathers did, they very much believed in themselves. They brought together and got a community of our people living together in peace and in prosperity. Now, one thing I must say before I close is this. I want to remind us all again that before the white man came, our people in that part of the world lived together, intermarried. We did not have any wars, one against the other. The distinction and the discrimination only started with the advent of the white man. And the Fulani have cleverly used that bogey to sow unnecessary dissension. If history is to be represented accurately, we in WIC in 1994 had a declaration where we said that we very much believe in resource control. There is no reason why anybody should come and deprive you of your God-given resource in your own land. We recommend and encourage resource control. The Igbo man particularly is not afraid to compete. And he is not a very greedy person as such. And we are not people who are trying to dominate others. Because if you look at it, the Igbo control a lot of the economy in all parts of Nigeria. But do we participate in politics in those areas? No. We leave the politics to them. The Igbo are not trying to be governor of Lagos State or Kano State, even though they could have the clout financially to make it. But this is not our nature. We must be proud of ourselves, what we are able to do, and believe very much in ourselves. So as we go forward today, remembering those who lost their lives, let us pledge that their lives lost was not in vain. They are fighting for self-determination and for our people to be free. And that mantle must be continued and carried by us. I thank those of you who have helped to bring this thing together. And I hope that this is going to be an annual event that will be even bigger than what it is today. I'm going to be there with you. I don't know for how many more years, but God willing, if I'm called upon next year, I'll be glad to answer the call. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that eloquent speech, taking us down the memory lane, how it was, and situating the problem where actually the problem is. We remain grateful that you are able to join us today. And we know from all indications that it is not an easy one for you to do. However, having said that, I can once more thank you that for the foresight. You know, you said it in the early 90s that you were the brain behind getting the World Igbo Congress to life. Once more, we thank you for all you do and all you had done already.